Okay, here's our video on how to find the whole to problem solve in our examples. Okay, here we're going to again use equivalent ratios, and I have written down those equivalent ratios that I want you to use. So it's going to be percent over 100 equals part, which is going to be associated with the word is, over our whole amount, which is associated with the word of. So again, percent over 100 equals part over whole. That's the formula that we're going to use as we're writing our equivalent ratios. We have one ratio right here, which is equal to this ratio here. So this is equivalent ratios. Okay, let's do some examples. In example 1, let's just find the whole. So we're going to have 3 steps that I want you to take to find this. Okay, step 1 is we're going to write that formula. Okay, so percent over 100 equals part over whole. I want you to write that so that you learn it, what it is. If you write it, you'll remember it. Okay? Step 2 is we're going to plug in our numbers. Okay, the percent's easy. That's 20%. 5 is 20% of what number? So the percent's easy. That has a percent sign. So it's 20 over 100 equals, now we got to find our part and our whole. Okay, I did say that the part was the is and the whole was the of. Of what number? 5 is, okay, so there's our sentence structure. So you got a little language arts in here and how we get this. So our is the 5, and our of is what we're looking for. So I'm going to leave that blank. I'm just going to put a little circle there so you can see that's what I'm looking for. Right? How do we go from 20 to 5? We're going to divide by 4. So how do we go from 100? Divide by 4, because we have to do the same thing to the denominator that we do in the numerator. 100 divided by 4 is 25. Okay, so that's what I'm going to write here in step 3. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So our answer is 5 is 20% of what number? That number is 25. Okay, so step 1, write your equation. Step 2, plug it in. Step 3, we're going to apply this middle step in step 3 of what we're doing to solve the problem. Okay, so that's kind of the formula I want you to take as you're following through. Let's do another example. Oops, sorry. In this example, again, 12 is 60% of what number? So I'm going to do percent over 100 equals part over whole. Okay, now I'm going to plug in what I know. 60% over 100 equals 12 is, so there's my 12 over of what? I don't know. How do I go from 60 to 12? I divide by 5. Divide by 5 here. So the third step is to do 100 divided by 5, which is 20. So 12 is 60% of what number? That number is 20. Okay? So again, setting up equivalent ratios and then finding how we go from one part to the next. Okay, let's go to our last example, word problems. Okay, so same thing with word problems. Mason rode his bike 3 miles in a race. If this is 60% of the race, how long is the race altogether? Percent over 100 equals part over whole. The percent is 60, so it's going to be 60 over 100 equals, it says if this referring to the 3 miles, so that's the part, okay, how long is the race altogether, referring to the entire race or the whole race. So it's going to be 3 over, we don't know. 60 divided by 20 is 3, so I do 100 divided by 20 on the bottom. Third step is to do 100 divided by 20, which is 5. So the answer is how long is the race altogether? 5. This is a word problem, so I'm going to put my miles at the end to find my complete answer. Okay, the Cougars have won 10 games. If this is 40% of their games for the season, how many games have they played? So again, percent over 100 equals part over whole. Okay, get in the habit of writing that every time. Plug in your numbers for step 2. 40%, so that's 40 over 100 equals, they've won 10. Is that, ooh, look at this. Get rid of that. They've won 10 games. Is that all the games they've played? No, that's only a part of the games they've played. So that's the part. How many games have they played? That's all of the games. That's the whole amount of games. That's what we're looking for. 40 divided by 4 is 10. 100 divided by 4. Well, what is 100 divided by 4? That's 25. So how many games have they played? They've played 25 games. Okay? So that is how you find the whole using equivalent ratios to find your answers. Okay? If you need to rewatch any of that, go ahead. There's a couple distractions in there, but you should be able to get through those. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys later.